The Kanamara Festival, a sacred event occurring once a year to pray for the birth of healthy children, fruitful descendants, and protection from sexual diseases. The main ceremony is carried out by the Kannushi, or the Shinto priest who heads the Kanayama Shrine where the event takes place. The celebration of the Phallus, continuing to this day, demonstrates a tenacity of tradition so strong in Japanese culture, where a religious tradition independent from European and American Puritanism developed and continued to thrive into the modern day in places Western invaders' eyes couldn't reach. Until now. Yeah, not to mince words, it's become a bit of a gaijin sausage fest. But what is the Kanamara Festival? Is it in danger of over-gaijinification? Is it even something worthy of being protected in the first place? And for the people who do go, how should they best dabble with the delicate demonstration of dong deification? All that and more, right now.
Hey guys, Kevin from Tokyohandsomeboys here. So actually it was my first time at the Kanamara Festival too, so I didn't actually have that great of a context going in, and I did some stupid shit as well, so I'm not really in a position to be saying anything. But from what it looks like, attendance has grown a lot among Western audiences in recent years. The queue I was standing in apparently didn't even exist 3 years ago. So, because of so many Western people coming and enjoying the festival, I want to share a little bit of inside information about it so that people can enjoy in a respectable way.
Kanamara translates directly to, you guessed it, the titular and titillating metal member. But how did this plucky pecker come to be? While doing the research for this video, the most interesting article by far was this ethnological study of the event by the Kyoto University of Art and Design, which cites a number of sources and includes a lot of information not found anywhere else on the web. According to that article, the original reason that the image of a was enshrined here was because the original god of this shrine, Kanayama no Kami, was a god of blacksmithing, and the movement of the fuigo, a box used for delivering a gust of air to the forge, supposedly resembled a man and woman in union. Yeah, the blacksmiths around here either had a great imagination or a not too great sex life. But thanks to that, a icon was enshrined here. Thanks to that enigmatic choice, the people who prayed here found a host of other ways to interpret the meaning of the shrine. During the Edo period, when the Kawasaki area became a center of trade connected to Edo, Tokyo, the women who served traveling clients here also took on a second duty as women of the night, and they began to pray at the Kanayama Shrine, taking the stalwart symbol to be a protector from sexual disease. That was the origin of the Jibeta Festival, or Bare Earth Festival, where the women would celebrate with a feast eaten while sitting on the bare ground. However, the Jibeta Festival was forgotten during the Meiji era in the late 1800s, as the introduction of Western values led to an abandonment of wayside shrines housing obscure Shinto gods. Other reasons for its decline include the loss of the main temple in the fires of the Second World War, and the fact that the wooden phallic icons housed there were constantly being stolen. But hold up, here comes the good stuff. The festival was newly revived as the Kanamara Matsuri when, and I quote, "It was visited by foreign ethnologists who found it culturally significant as a shrine continuing the worship of sexual icons, which led the shrine priest Hirohiko Nakamura to found an organization of believers dedicated to the icon. This organization recreated the Jibeta Matsuri of the Edo period and added new aspects, such as the carrying of phallic mikoshi, to create the Kanamara Festival we know today." Wow! so Western influence already played both a positive and negative influence before the festival's current form even came about. Today, the penis icon has become associated with prayers for a safe birth, prosperous descendants, and most important, protection and awareness for victims of HIV and AIDS. After the WHO declared World AIDS Day in 1988, Hirohiko Nakamura, the same priest who restarted the festival, declared protection from AIDS to be one of the principal purposes of the festival's rituals.
Surrounded by a bunch of amateurs, I'm telling you. Let me show you how it's really done. Just gotta work the shaft.
So, after only about 10 minutes inside the Kanayama Shrine area, I got kicked out for stepping outside the shrine area. The attendant in front of the gate I had happened to walk through had been distracted talking to an old Japanese guy, so he hadn't been making the announcement that going out the gate was a one-way ticket out, and there wasn't any kind of signage or anything. I was just a little bit pissed at the time, but I can see that since there was no time limit on being in the shrine area, and yet with a limited amount of space to hold guests, there couldn't be a lot of leeway on dillying, dallying, dawdling, etc. But that's something to keep in mind while inside the grounds. So much of the festival doesn't actually happen inside the shrine grounds. There's a temple right nearby called Heikenji, also known as Kawasaki Daishi, which is also the name of the closest station. Although it's actually a Buddhist temple, not Shinto, the temple is sharing in the festivities with plenty of stalls selling food, and the shopping street nearby is packed with all the Chimpoko goods you came here for. As soon as I arrived at Kawasaki Daishi Station, I was immediately funneled into the line, so I was under the impression that to experience the festival, I would need to wait in the line as long as it takes, but actually the 3 phallic mikoshi, or miniature shrine, were being carried around through the different streets to different shrines in the area, as is typical for Japanese festivals, so it wasn't necessary to go into the temple grounds to see it. As for the formal rituals conducted by the kannushi, they were completely visible from outside the temple grounds as well, and since they're going on all day, you should be able to get your fill even if you miss out on seeing some of the show. It seemed to me that most locals are happy balancing the modern and traditional aspects of the event. Even the most garish aspects of the event, the candy cane pops and the giant pink mikoshi, have historical backgrounds, as the main shop selling the testicular treat, Hyobando, has actually existed since 1872, and all its signs and web presence are still available in Japanese only. That said, there are other shops capitalizing on the high demand for phallic confectionaries. The giant pink mikoshi, known affectionately as Elizabeth, was created and donated in 1989 by the staff of the Elizabeth Salon in Asakusa, a drag fashion salon, to raise awareness of HIV and AIDS in association with the festival's declaration of praying for protection from AIDS as one of its purposes. To this day, it's still carried by members of the Elizabeth Salon, who shout out while hoisting the hefty Holmes, "Kanamara! A huge Mara!" So while it may look in some ways like a tourist trap, the Kanamara Festival really is what it is thanks to the locals giving their all to maintain a unique tradition, not just to grab an easy gaijin buck. That said, it seemed to me like the festival is getting stretched a little thin.
Oh my god, just when I thought I was done with the line, the inside is just a giant scramble. Go in without me.
It seemed like the police were having a pretty tough time keeping the hordes of gaijin under control. I've never seen this many gaijin in one place in Japan, and I've been to Ichiran Ramen. Overall, from what I saw, the visitors to the festival were mostly respectful. But let's be honest, most of us are here to laugh at weird Japan and get sloshed at the crazy festival. And just like the guy behind me who said to his friend during the Mikoshi parade, "All these guys are going straight to hell," showed, I can't help but think the event runs the risk of being misunderstood. As the Kyoto study points out, it is difficult to say the festival has achieved its goal of raising awareness of the importance of sexuality. Some say it is too easy to enjoy the festival without understanding its purpose. It is all too likely for those who came to know the festival without knowing its purpose to say, a festival as low and vile as this should be shut down, leading to its end. In order for the festival to continue, it is essential to raise awareness of its goals, not just within Japan, but to viewers from abroad as well. Not just in Japanese, but in other languages as well. The study, published in 2015, seems to have hit the issue right on the tip. That same year, the wooden phallus icons, which used to be a staple, and which participants enjoyed snuggling up to and taking pictures with, were removed due to what the shrine called on its official Twitter, bad behavior, as a participant reportedly exposed themselves in a too close for comfort contact encounter. In some way or another, gaijin have played an important role in the festival's history, so there's no shame in being a frisky foreigner. And since getting plastered at festivals has been part of Japanese history since the first planter found sake in his moldy rice barrel, feel free to get a little off your too. Just, when you do come, try to be respectful and don't mock the gods, unless you want 7 years of erectile dysfunction. With the Olympics coming next year, 2020 promises a bigger and badder festival than ever to satisfy attendees new and old alike. But with that comes rock-hard responsibility, and there's more chance than ever for a few ne'er-do-wells to sully the reputation of a fragile historical tradition. Look, everybody wants to get their rocks off, but it takes a firm, stiff shaft of tradition and unity to hold it up. So in the years ahead, let's do our best to party responsibly, and think with our heads, and no, not those heads. See you next time, folks.
We are Tokyohandsomeboys! I wanted to go Kanamara Festival.
Yeah, but you always get sick.
Yeah, I was sick. I wanted to suck a bit.
Yeah, I got to show off my skills. Yeah, next time I want to see you.
Yes.
But not on the pop, on the real.
On the real.
Yeah.
And then after this festival, could you make a baby?
Huh? Wait, どういうこと
I know, you know.
どういうこと
See you soon. He will say big announce.
No.
楽しみにしててね。
Okay, see you next time. Bye
Thank you very much
bye.
for seeing. Bye.